all of these ideas and themes are almost perfectly crystallized in this Stephen Donziger situation that I know that you've been very active in speaking about. So explain a little bit for people who don't know this situation, because it's unbelievable.
In the 1960s, then oil giant Texaco went down to the Amazonian Ecuador, the Ecuadorian Amazon, swath of the Amazon River. In order now, already Ecuadorian environmental regulations were less than ours, and ours were never so wonderful. So they were even less than ours. Even in violation of those, Texaco, in order to save $3 a pit, left their pits unlined. And they admit that they did this, thus poisoning that area of the Amazon, the food, the water, even the air. They would actually say to the indigenous farmers down there, "Oh, it's good for you. This oil has vitamins in it. It's mother's milk." Now, Stephen Donziger, I know, it's so evil.
It's like farming with Brando from Idiocracy.
Stephen Donziger, Harvard-educated lawyer, leads a team, goes down there, realizes what's happened, leads a team of lawyers in holding what was by then Chevron accountable, because Chevron had bought Texaco. Chevron doesn't even deny that happened. So Chevron said, "We don't want the case tried in the United States. We want the case tried in Ecuador. And if it is tried in Ecuador, if we are held accountable or liable, we will pay whatever the judgment is." The judgment that came down ended up at somewhere $8-9 billion.
Yeah, that was like $9.5 billion. Chevron this is a while ago.
Oh, yeah. That's right. This has been going on for years. Chevron said, hell no, and ended up coming at Stephen Donziger. And they have sought to destroy his life. And they had him on this misdemeanor where they claimed that there was some money that they said he owed them. They wanted access to his computer. Now, we all know how sacrosanct the relationship attorney-client privilege. The last thing he wanted to do was to give over his computer, in which there was all this contact information about Ecuadorian environmental activists. He wouldn't do it. He was filing an appeal. And what happened there was, this was just a misdemeanor. The New York State said, we're not even going to deal with this. A judge, Lewis Kaplan, found a loophole and basically gave over the prosecution of Stephen Donziger to Chevron. This is very important that we see this for what it is. This is Chevron, and I think in many ways on behalf of the entire fossil fuel industry, putting its line in the sand, trying to freeze human rights and environmental activism, saying, you go this far, we will destroy you. Stephen Donziger was held in home detention for over 2 years with an ankle bracelet.
Yeah.
He was denied a jury trial, and Judge Preska, these people are all related to the Federalist Society, et cetera, on behalf of Chevron, basically, using a law firm which is Chevron related, has now thrown the book at him. And he is now in Danbury Prison in Connecticut, serving a 6-month prison sentence. And what we want is for Merrick Garland to take this case, and several Congress people have written a letter. The UN High Commissioner on Human Rights has called this political prisoner, has said that it is a human rights abuse, has said that he should be released and he should be paid money in recompense. Greenpeace, there's more and more of a building energy of the outrageousness of this. He's basically a political prisoner. And at this point, it's not just that Merrick Garland needs to step up. Merrick Garland needed to step up a while ago. Joe Biden should step up. Joe Biden should step up and commute the sentence now.
Yeah, this is such a crazy situation. I mean, first of all, Chevron still hasn't paid the $9.5 billion.
They could have paid, but they have paid, but they will pay any amount of money, they've said, in order to prosecute Stephen Donziger, because they realize that it's more, that if you let this go through, God, that's the way these fossil fuel companies are looking at this. It's all about freezing environmental and human rights activism.
Yeah, it's so crazy that they've been able to amplify what is essentially a misdemeanor charge on a trumped up, I think, fraud claim where he's just like, look, I'm not turning over my phone and my laptop.
Right.
Ordinarily, that would be, so there's a contempt charge, right? But that would be a fine or a slap on the wrist or something like that. 2 years.
With an ankle bracelet. And the 6 months now.
And
in
then
addition.
6 months. It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
And it's clearly, sending this chilling effect message on anybody to say, not so fast, not so far.
Yeah, you can't get it's the not so far.
But there is so much energy in this case. Like people are talking about it, and he's been very forthright. And he's been doing videos and stuff like that from his home before he went to Danbury. And you've been doing Instagram lives with him and stuff like that. And it's a fascinating test case and an example of just how far a company like Chevron will go to make sure that anybody who challenges them in a meaningful way will get put in the grave.
Also, I don't think the average American knows. I certainly was shocked. Everybody I know was shocked. Who knew that there was a loophole?
I still don't understand how this came to be.
I mean, I was at the trial, the first part of it, the first day. Chevron, a Chevron-sponsored lawyer, comes in and uses a U.S. courtroom. This is a show trial. This is the corporate prosecution of a U.S. citizen. This is a corporate prosecution of a U.S. citizen.
Right. In the context of a civil trial.
Yeah.
It's not even criminal court. Like it's wild.
Yeah. It's not, just one of many things that's quote unquote not supposed to happen in America, but it is happening. And that goes back to what you and I were saying earlier. We can't just influence the conversation. We need to stop this.